Hello and welcome to another episode of Monday BJJ. In this episode, I'm starting off by rolling against my instructor, and I shoot for a single leg on him, but I don't finish it very well, so he takes me down with a quick body lock, and I try to spin out from underneath his knee pressure, and he winds up taking my back, and he's working this choke here, and I'm trying to roll my head out. I eventually do get out, and I attempt to apply some knee pressure and grab his arm when he comes up. I take back, but I'm not familiar with how to maintain back position, so I start to try a choke, and I miss, and he rolls me over. I at least maintain the mount for a little bit until he sweeps me. Here I try some spider guard, and I miss the sweep, so he stands up real tall, tries to get me to do the sweep again, and this time when I do it, he changes the tactics on me. So then I hit a triangle, and as you saw, when my foot was up on his shoulder, he was able to shuck me off, so I missed that. And then he's applying more pressure to me and showed me how I could snake out from underneath and take back, and he does a really good job of re-guarding and then tangling up my legs and getting me to fall over. And so now he takes my arm and gets a choke there as well. So we move from that to a new round, or new roll in that same round, I guess. And he sweeps me, and then that was the end of that one. So here, kind of a blast double takedown, and trying to re-guard with my legs, but he does a really good job of stiff-arming that one knee, and does some good knee pressure as he comes around, switching side to side. He's really digging for that underhook, and I'm trying not to let him have it. And so he winds up locking his arms around and getting a really good choke that way. And so I'm trying to figure out which way I ought to be turning. And I think eventually I turned out of it, and he winds up getting this top triangle setup going, and eventually gets an armbar, a straight armbar out of it. So there's another one. From here, he locks up a triangle on me. That gets the submission. So we reset, and here he just gets me off balance, and I'm trying to work a sweep, but I can't really utilize my legs. Here he wraps up my arms really good, uses that to get into mount, and then rolls over into a triangle setup from there, and then he's able to sit up, pressure into me, and then turn around, and here he does what I need to learn how to do, roll the person over from taking their back, and it was kind of a bow and arrow choke, I think. I'm not entirely sure. So here he's able to get me over again, take my back, and that was the end of that round. So moving on to another one. Here's another really active white belt. He's trying some different stand-up game stuff that he's not quite as familiar with, but he's still making really good use of his legs and preventing me. I just thought I'd try to walk through him and see if he could respond well, and I think he did a really good job of being able to keep me off of him with his legs. And so here he's able to just get my legs together and kind of fold me up. And so here I try to roll him over. I sort of miss. And so then he gets this sort of reverse guillotine choke on me and tries to turn it into an arm bar, I think maybe. Or I was able to slip out maybe. And so now I'm just in his guard. And here he's doing a real good job of getting his legs up and trying to get a triangle position. So it's really good on his part. And always walking his legs up towards my head, which I think is can be good for sure for setting up those triangles. And of course, we're doing all sorts of weird hopping around stuff. And so I try to take advantage of that, but I get my legs tangled up. And so now he's knee on belly on me, and then turns that into a side control. And now he's got a head and an arm. And I couldn't, he had both my arms tied up, so I tapped with my foot. All right, and this is another white belt that I train with quite often. And I try to arm drag him and wind up doing a little bit of a do-si-do thing. And I try to do a backwards takedown because I feel like those are generally a little bit gentler. And instead, I just wind up kind of pulling him on top of me. So maybe gentler, but maybe not as effective. So we do a lot of moving around, and he winds up getting this really good collar choke on me. So we reset, and he winds up in a spider guard, and I try to like put pressure onto his leg to get around and get past, and it kind of works, but he's still got that leg in the way. So even if I get past it, it's still kind of just a half guard that I'm walking into. So here I try the same thing again, and then I wind up in this weird like leg lock position, and so he kind of sets that up and then sort of walks from there to just take my back, because we don't know enough about, or at least I don't know enough about leg locks to really get finished or, you know, be finished properly. So instead he walks up and gets a really high mount into this triangle from the top, and that's not a lot of fun. He takes the arm too in case he wants to arm bar it. I tap to that. And then here, rolling against one of our other brown belts, and he has a very, very slow but kind of like powerful style. So I try to pull guard just because it's not something I do very often. And you can see how he's leaning back into my control points and then just slowly walks around me. And so then I go north-south, trying to get out from underneath him, but I kind of push my head underneath him instead of then trying to get my head away. And so he just closes up this really tight head and arm choke and just walks it around until, you know, it chokes. That's what they do. They choke. All right, so here you can see he's got both of his hooks inside. So he's doing a really good job of controlling me. So I try to step around them, but with my arm, and yeah, with my arm around his legs like that, he could have swept me. He chose not to try to let me work some stuff. And so I try to get his arm. I overbalance, and he sweeps me again. So then I set up to try to do the spider sweep, or I think just a scissor sweep was what I was trying to do. And I don't. And then he's able to give me some instruction. He's like, here you go. Try to get the underhook there. And then he just also steps around it. I don't know if that was actually instruction or if he was just doing that. Yeah. And so then he calmly rolls back and sets up this like half triangle, half armbar thing. So from there, I push into him again, drive into this half guard, knee slice. And it's not like the best knee slice, but I do turn my hips enough that he lets me kind of have it. And then you can see here he moves away, and I don't really readjust probably like I should. So I try to go for the knee on belly and then quickly transition into a mount, and that was the end of the round. So back to this guy, and we're both doing a lot of hand fighting, and he gets my leg again, and as soon as he's got my leg, I know I'm in trouble, so I try to shove his head down, and I get just enough of like kind of a sweep to get him back. And then here I'm getting his knees again, trying to make sure I pass well, and again he grabs one of my legs, so I'm trying to get my other knee in to apply pressure to him, and I kind of overextend again a little bit, I think, honestly. And so here I'm not entirely sure. I think I was trying to get that leg in to, I don't know, do something from the top, and I kind of mess it up, obviously, and kind of just a weird position where I wind up basically giving him my back. And then here he's trying to get that arm around and lapel choke me. And so I get him to overbalance a little bit, but in doing so, I give him the arm for the arm bar. So he's able to take that one and rip it off. It was okay. I didn't really need that arm anyways. So here I'm kind of diving into him again, and he does this gnarly looking thing, which, you know, I think would be a good setup. It's a good setup for a triangle. If he could get that other leg around, I think I was maybe pressuring into it quite a bit. So we finish up that round, and we're ready to move on to something else. So here I'm back with that brown belt again, and he's being more relaxed, and so I try to take his feet up and over, and that does at least allow me to get past his legs. And I think by this point, and then he just rolls into me. This is beautiful. Could have probably easily triangled me from here, but let me have some fun doing some stuff. So I try a double underpass, and yeah, I can kind of shuck him, but he's got good enough positioning and base, even flat on his back like that, that he just kind of came back on top of me. And so from there, you can see again, he's still got this like spider on me, and I kind of am able to pass through it, and then still in like a half guard. And so I try to turn my leg up and my hips so that I can pull it through, which I do eventually get it through. And I'm trying to get a Kimura grip here so I can turn it into an arm bar. And I walk my leg up and around onto his head, and then as soon as I go for the arm bar, I don't do a good enough job getting my legs seated, and so he's able to turn out of it, and I just have to turn back into him and take the side control. So here we are again. Go for mount. This time when he rolls over, I do wind up maintaining the back, but I don't have a good enough hook in, and so when he turns over, I lose it, and then because I've lost that positioning, he's able to turn to my legs and capture them and then walk up to my head. So that's the kind of smooth and efficient technique that I really think characterizes his style, which or at least the way that he trains in the gym with lower level belts. I think against the higher level belts, I think he's still slower, but it's more. I think it's more. I don't know, based on some of them that I've talked to. So he's a great training partner, and yeah, here he's just crushing the life out of me with his shoulder, and I'm just about ready to tap and give it up. And so then we start another round, and kind of that same awkward positioning of trying to figure out. He's like hand fighting with his ankles, so I almost get past him, but even then, he's still. I don't hold on to them long enough, and so now he's got me in a weird, tangled up position, and could have leg locked me there. Again, chooses not to, and so here I'm just kind of working my way up. I almost have this arm bar. Instead, I try to switch to a Kimura grip, and then he gives me a little bit of instruction here about arm bar technique and things that I could have done better. So I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe, and leave a comment if there's anything you had questions about or anything you want to see me do differently in my next videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.